$11 billion. That was the price of a secret handshake deal back in 2013 to sell a dying car company to Google. They had exactly 2 weeks of cash left. Total collapse was imminent.
Welcome back to Learning with Pratik. If you're new here, I try to increase neuroplasticity by exploring a new topic every day. I do all the reading and researching so you don't have to. Today, we're exploring a truly remarkable transformation. We're looking at how a company that repeatedly stood on the absolute brink of death survived those trials to build the manufacturing and software empire we see in 2026. Let's dive right into this explainer and trace the architecture of this incredible survival.
Part 1. The brink of collapse. To really understand where this company is today, we have to understand its core paradox. You see, their current dominance isn't the result of some smooth, uninterrupted rise. It's the direct result of surviving multiple, severe existential threats. Hardship literally forced radical innovation. Just look at their origins. Tesla was founded in 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, and their initial strategy was pretty unconventional. They started by stuffing lithium-ion batteries into a Lotus Elise chassis. Why do that? Because they needed to break that lingering stereotype that electric cars were inherently slow, heavy, and totally impractical. Elon Musk then led the Series A funding in 2004. But by 2008, the company was bleeding cash. They were teetering right on the edge of bankruptcy, saved only by last-minute investments and, eventually, a 2010 IPO. Part 2. Rewriting the factory. Surviving financial ruin was really only the first hurdle. The second was what executives simply called production hell. To survive the incredibly difficult scaling of auto manufacturing for a mass market, Tesla realized they couldn't just build a new car. They had to completely rewrite how a car factory actually functions. Enter gigacasting. By definition, this is a manufacturing process where molten aluminum is injected into massive presses to create large vehicle chassis sections as single, unified pieces. Now, it's important to note here that an Italian firm, the Idra Group, actually invented the gigapress, earning their engineers a European Inventor Award in 2024. But while Tesla didn't invent the machine itself, they absolutely pioneered its use in the automotive industry, effectively forcing the rest of the global market to adapt. This one comparison brilliantly illustrates the impact of that massive pivot. Traditionally, the rear chassis of the Model 3 required 171 distinct metal pieces to be stamped, glued, and welded together. Compare that to the Model Y rear chassis, which requires just 2 pieces. 2! This single manufacturing shift eliminated roughly 1,600 welds. It cut the Model Y production costs by nearly 40%, and it is exactly why competitors from Ford to Toyota to NIO are now investing billions of dollars just to copy this process. Part 3. The AI driver. So they didn't just re-engineer the physical factory, they completely re-engineered the software brain of the vehicle itself. Back in 2016, following some safety concerns and a major difference in developmental philosophy, Tesla abruptly abandoned its partnership with Mobileye, the firm that provided their early driver assistance hardware. Instead, they decided to build an entire neural network architecture in-house. And the sheer scale of that software gamble, it is immense. Tesla's full autonomy ambitions rely on a massive data engine. Their fleet has driven over 10 billion miles on public roads. But what's really fascinating here is shadow mode. Even when a human driver is fully in control of the wheel, the background software is silently predicting what it would do. If the human does something different, say swerves for a piece of debris that computer missed, the car captures a high-resolution data snapshot. It then beams that edge case data back to Tesla's custom-built Dojo supercomputer, which trains the neural network and pushes a smarter update back to the in-house silicon chips inside the cars. Basically, the cars are constantly learning from each other. Part 4. The core 2026 lineup. By 2026, all of this complex back-end engineering and software development crystallized into a highly focused, high-volume consumer lineup. Comparing their 2 core pillars, the Model 3 and Model Y share a tremendous amount of underlying DNA, yet they serve entirely different purposes. The Model 3, starting at $36,990, maximizes aerodynamic efficiency. It squeezes out 363 miles of range and hits 60 miles per hour in a blistering 2.9 seconds in its performance trim. The Model Y, meanwhile, is the ultimate utilitarian tool. It sacrifices just a bit of speed and range to offer an open, commanding ride height and a massive 76 cubic feet of cargo space. And this sentiment, pulled from a real owner's consensus on social platforms, highlights that exact dichotomy perfectly. They said, sold my 2024 Model Y for a 2025 Model 3, never going back. Handles 100 times better. While the AI software and gigacast manufacturing techniques are shared across the board, the physical utility remains distinctly tailored to the user. The Model 3 is largely viewed as the precise go-kart-like sports sedan for the driver, while the Model Y remains the undisputed family hauler, capable of swallowing strollers, groceries, and luggage with absolute ease. For you, the modern buyer, this essentially means choosing between purely engineered driving joy or ultimate daily utility, without having to sacrifice the bleeding-edge underlying tech.
Part 5. The heavyweights.
Now, beyond that core consumer market, we find the absolute extremes of the Tesla catalog. This is where efficiency intentionally takes a back seat to brute force, raw power, and bleeding-edge utility. 1,020 horsepower. That is the staggering output of the 2026 Model S Plaid. It utilizes a 3-motor, carbon-sleeved powertrain to literally warp from 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds. But there is a glaring, unaddressed contradiction here that automotive critics continually point out. This absolute hypercar performance is trapped inside an exterior design that, despite some subtle facelifts along the way, remains fundamentally unchanged from the original sketch penned way back in 2012.
Conversely, we have the Cybertruck. Say what you will about its highly polarizing stainless steel exoskeleton, but underneath that brutalist shell lies Tesla's most radical internal engineering to date. It utilizes an 800-volt high-voltage architecture for faster charging, a 48-volt low-voltage system to significantly reduce wiring mass, and a steer-by-wire system with absolutely no physical mechanical linkage between the steering yoke and the front wheels. Add in four-wheel steering and an 11,000-pound towing capacity, and you have a vehicle functioning as a rolling laboratory for next-generation tech. And finally, those exact same principles, gigacasting large chassis pieces to reduce weight and deploying ultra-fast high-voltage architecture, are being aimed squarely at disrupting the heavy-duty diesel trucking industry. The Tesla Semi is pushing boundaries with a promised 1.55 kilowatt-hours per mile efficiency, relying heavily on the new megawatt charging system to refill those massive battery packs during standard driver breaks.
From near bankruptcy to sparking a global manufacturing revolution, the arc of this company is undeniably fascinating. They lead the entire industry in manufacturing efficiency and real-world neural network data collection. Yet, as we saw with the Model S, much of this revolutionary underlying technology is now housed in exterior designs that are quietly aging into their second decade. So the crucial point we are left with today is this: does Tesla's massive software and manufacturing advantage justify its aging designs? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, especially if you have something particular in mind. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow we open a different page. Until then, Pratik out.